Hey guys, welcome back for another episode of Ducati Scrambler project. In this episode we're gonna take a closer look at the bike itself. We're gonna go in detail on what's wrong with the bike and what's not wrong with the bike. Finger crossed. And also we're gonna get a general idea on what are the mods I'm gonna do to the bike itself. As you guys can see behind me, we have an array of parts from some vendors, from eBay, from Amazon. I scavenge all over the place to find what I need for the bike itself. But let's stop with the chit chat and let's get right into it. By looking at the bike, you can tell this bike is fairly new. The seats is in great condition. If you remove the seat and look underneath, it's clean. It's new-like. So, and you can tell by bits and pieces around the bike itself that this bike is not that old. But I believe it wasn't taken care of. So there are a few things here and there that don't look particularly good. First and foremost, the bike needs a good wash. It looks like this bike hasn't been washed since 2015, which is probably the case. Now, it's not like the previous owner took it off-road or anything and didn't wash it. It looks like it's been taken around town and hasn't seen soap in a long time. Now, because the front fork seal is leaking, the front fork oil is pretty much all over the bike, so we need to go through and clean pretty much everything, get the grease out and start fresh. Let's put it this way, it's leaking enough that the usual trick with a piece of film around the inside to clean the seal is not going to cut it. So the seal needs to be replaced, and that's probably the most labor intensive job there is in this project. Now, other than that, we're gonna do the usual, so oil, filter, air filter, check the tire pressure, check the chain slack, and pretty much anything else that the owner's manual tells you to do on your first service. Let's keep going through the bike and let's see what else is wrong with it. If we take a look up here, what's going on, there are a few things that I will replace. Now, on my drive home, I noticed that the handlebar are actually slightly bent. It's not enough to be annoying, but is enough to be noticed. It almost feels like the guy dropped the bike on a wall or something, and he pushed this side of the handlebar forward. So the handlebar is gonna go. I'm gonna put a cross brace to strengthen it up a bit. And that's what's going on up here. Now, another thing I'm going to do is get rid of those horrendous rear view mirror. On a cafe racer, yeah, they might go well. On this style bike, I don't know, especially the fake gold anodized aluminum, it just doesn't look, in my opinion, it doesn't look good, so they're gonna go. One thing I'm gonna do up top here on the fuel tank is I'm gonna put a protector over here to avoid scratching the tank up top. I'm gonna give a clean to the side panel. I'm gonna put the proper sticker over here. And that's about it on the top side. Other few things I'm gonna do to the bike is I'm gonna get rid of this exhaust. I can't quite see a serial number, I can't quite see a brand, and there is no catalytic converter on it, there is no chamber, it's pretty much a straight out exhaust. I'm gonna take this exhaust off, I'm gonna refit the OEM exhaust, because as much as I like a loud bike, this is way too loud. It's uncomfortable loud. So exhaust is gonna go, the OEM is gonna go back until I do my research and I find a proper exhaust that gives me a good sound and at the same time the right amount of back pressure. Right now, with this straight pipe, let's call it that way, there is no back pressure. So if you rev the engine and you let go, all of a sudden the bike will shut down, and that's not good. Another thing we're gonna do here in the back, I'm gonna put some paddock spindle on the rear swing arm. I got some from Evotech that actually perform double duty. They're sliders and spindle at the same time. So great buy. I'm gonna put those on. When it comes to the front of the bike, there are a few things I'm gonna do. I'm gonna put some protection for the front light, especially if my wife follows me around on the dirt. I wanna avoid spraying some rock and breaking this expensive Ducati front light. Other than that, sliders are gonna go on the front axle, and I got from Evotech a protector for the front caliper as well. Since we're talking about protection, there are other things I'm gonna do to protect the bike itself. I'm gonna put a radiator guard, I'm gonna put a rectifier guard up front, and I'm gonna put an engine guard. Now the bike comes with the Ducati OEM skid plate. It looks great. I'm not sure it's very effective. It's very low. It leaves the engine all exposed to the stuff that comes off the front wheel. So I got an Evotech protector. I think it's gonna do a much better job at protecting the engine. So that's what I'm gonna do. So once we put enough protection on the bike to go off-road and don't break major components, I'm gonna try to make it look a little better. The Giant OEM turn signal, I'm most likely gonna go. I'll see what I can find, what style I'm gonna go with, but it's gonna require a ton of research. Other than that, still talking about style, I wanted to put a high fender on, but with the style of the bike, the brushed aluminum looks pretty good, and the fender is about an inch off the tire, so it's enough to take it off-road without having anything get stuck in there. Another thing I'm gonna do is put some protection for the ends up here. Now that means that those horrible mirrors aren't gonna have to go. So this is what I've come up so far for the Scrambler. A little regular maintenance, a little not so regular maintenance when it comes to the fork, a general toughen it up for some off-road use, and a few aesthetic touches, like getting rid of those horrendous, I just can't get over how ugly those freaking mirrors are. But some of the parts are there. I'm pretty sure that throughout the project something else will come up, or I'll change my mind on something, or I decide to change a few things here and there, but let's see how it goes. As always, if you guys have time, go to my website, www.albesadv.com. I'm working to make a page on the website specific for this project, but I'm a one-man show, so give me a break, give me some time, eventually it'll get there. Other than that, if you guys like the video, like. If you guys love the video, subscribe. Big help if you guys subscribe. So stay tuned to see what happens to the Scrambler in the future, and I'll see you next time.